Chapter 5, Michelle Ann, Aunty Flo, and the GSD Club. So this chapter is dedicated to my little sister, Diane McKendrick. Without her unwavering drive, dreams, and courage, I would not be what I am today. Her ability to push me way out of my comfort zone and make the big, scary decisions for our business has changed my life and the life of others. Our business, Those Two Sisters, has grown and touched thousands of souls. The ripple effect is powerful, and my hope is that every single woman reading this book brings the word courage into their life. Without courage, nothing can grow. Michelle Ann. Courage, by definition, is mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. My definition, however, varies somewhat. My definition of courage is the ability to know in your heart what you need to do. Courage means to trust your intuition and your inner whispers and do the thing that scares you. Courage relies on an inner strength and an ability to surrender control no matter how terrified you are. It needs a huge spoon of trust, a sprinkle of faith, and a lot of grit. Are you ready to go there? But first, let me introduce myself. I am Michelle Ann, one half of Those Two Sisters, a businesswoman on a mission. I'm here to inspire you and allow you to have the courage to step fully into your power, your alignment, and yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm often in fear, more than I'd like to admit. My natural go-to state is that of structure, processes, logistics, knowing, getting shit done, focus, clarity, being busy, running by the rules. I love predictability, security, and I really love safety. Yep, my go-to state is full-blown masculine energy. And if you're furiously nodding along at home, then join the GSD, the Get Shit Done Club. There are plenty of us in this club, and the majority of us are using this superpower in our business. Here's the thing though. The GSD Club is not for the faint of heart. This club has rules and regulations, and they are strict. Calendar must be book solid at all times. Breaks are only to be taken once everything is done. Business is your first priority. Family and friends will come second. Suffer in at least one other area of your life, usually health or relationships. Have a rule for everything, even if sticking to it makes you or your business suffer. Structure at all cost. Stay in control at all times. No emotion allowed. Stick with the mainstream. No fluff allowed. Flexibility is not permitted. And excel at everything. Yep, this was me. I was CEO of the GSD Club. I ran the thing, and I did it well. I even got double points for being in a masculine job. Hell, I had a science degree and was a sergeant in the police for 23 years. I smashed the GSD Club out of the park. I was in a respected role in middle management. I was well liked from above and below. I felt needed and respected, and I was part of the gang. Until I wasn't. The words still echo in my head. It was October 2021. I was wrangling 2 young kids and a German Shepherd, power walking my GSD butt to drop the girls to school. I was a single mum doing her best to juggle it all. The mortgage, the car loan, the house duties, 2 children under the age of 8, the dog, the yard, the part-time business, my health and fitness, my social life, ... The list goes on. My phone rang. This is, insert name here. I assume you know what I'm ringing you about. I'm officially standing you down as you have refused to follow the Commissioner's direction and get vaccinated for COVID-19. You are now instructed not to enter a police establishment except to report a crime, and an investigation with ethical standards has been commenced. I kissed the kids, I waved them off at the gate, and I thought, okay, I'll deal with that one later. Typical GSD move. Bury it down and move on. Now, before I get into this crazy story of what kicked me out of the GSD club, a double whammy, as I just realised I was kicked out of the police and the club, geez, I'd like to touch on intuition. So GSD and intuition are like chalk and cheese. They really don't like each other. It's like asking Trump and Obama to be best mates. It ain't going to happen. What I realised, though, is that they can coexist and actually can complement each other when you really get to know them. Each has a part to play, and it's a matter of getting to know them both. For you very active businesswomen out there, you have likely been best mates with GSD, but only vaguely recall your intuition. Your intuition is similar to your long-lost auntie. Let's call her Aunty Flo. That's with the W, not to be confused with the period one. That is Aunt Flo. Our intuition is called Aunty Flo. It sort of fits though. Read on and you'll understand. You once knew her well, but over time, all memory has been slowly erased. You may have even been told by your parents and teachers that Aunty Flo was crazy, a little loopy, and has lost her mind. They call her crackers, weird, and sent her off to live with her cats. This chapter is going to be about how you can bring your intuition, Aunty Flo, back into your life and ultimately your business. Now, the GSD teachings are strong. So whilst writing this, I'm wrangling with the echoes of my club rules telling me that this has to be structured and set out and professional. Thank goodness my club days are long gone and I get to do things my way. Phew. So Aunty Flo, she loves a good story. She loves the flow and the cadence of emotions and feelings and all things soft and nurturing. This, my friends, is how I'm going to get my message across to you today. It won't be anything like my management assignments I wrote in the police. Now that is boring. There will be no references or quotes or headings, but there will be laughs, tears, and inspiration. And if I can write 3,000 words on styles of management, I can certainly get my message across for something I'm extremely passionate about. Back to the words echoing in my head. You have been stood down. In layman's terms, this means sent home from work whilst being investigated, on pay for a short time, and then quickly on no pay. This message was no surprise to me. I'd made the decision several weeks earlier to not follow protocol. And just a note on this chapter is nothing about vaccinations, and I am not an anti-vaxxer. I fully support any decision made around this topic, as long as it was done with full agreement on your behalf. So when the direction came out as no jab, no job, something whispered deep in my soul. I just got full goosebumps reading that line. That bit wasn't in the book. It started quietly, just a little questioning, and then it got louder. That whisper was telling me to decline the vaccination. I couldn't explain why. Even though I had a science degree, I hadn't done an ounce of research, and I certainly wasn't following all the hype around this topic. I just knew. Every part of my being said no. Aunty Flo was knocking on my door. My intuition had come home. She knocked, and I answered, and I invited her in. Aunty Flo had been coming in and out of my life for some time, so this homecoming was a long time in the making. She was actually there when I was born, cheering me on and pointing me in the right direction. Over time, though, we lost contact. We all have an Aunty Flo. Your auntie might have a different name, maybe one not related to your period, but she's there waiting for you. She had been visiting me constantly for years, popping in and out and saying hello, but I never fully accepted her. My police career had slowly taken a backseat to my family and my passion for my business. I loved my job, but I also loved my business. I was part-time in the police and was still a member of the GSD club, but the strict rules were draining my spirit. I had a rash from head to toe. It was so horrible and itchy, it would make me cry on a daily basis. Nobody could tell me what was causing it. I'm a clever little thing, like most of you savvy businesswomen, and realised I had been doing everything to meld my two worlds together. Inviting policewomen to our retreats and workshops, diffusing essential oils in my office, holding meditation classes at lunchtime, talking non-stop to anyone that would listen about my crazy woo-woo stories. When you have a burly policeman making trips into your office to get some oils and listen to your story about your dreams of dead people, you know you're making some progress. GSD and Aunty Flo had some very close calls at times. They used to miss each other by hours. One day I was kitted up in full protection gear, gun out, clearing rooms and being shot at. And that night, I was running a sold-out cacao circle, holding space for crying women. Those two worlds could not have been more different. Something had to be done. We needed to find a better way to meld the two. What better way than to be sacked? Yes, after the thorough investigation, countless visits from my manager, piles of paperwork, sorry trees, I apologise, many tears and sleepless nights, the day had come to receive my final termination paperwork. I was prepared, I was ready, and I was not going to cry. I did cry. I cried like a baby. I felt let down, outcast, disrespected, and scared as hell. My badge, my identity, and 23 years were taken away from me. Yes, I knew it was coming and I thought I was prepared, but nothing prepares you for that. Aunty Flo was not in my good books, and I seriously doubted my decision-making skills. Who in their right mind would give up a stable and secure career because their intuition told them to? My last pay arrived on Christmas Eve of 2021, and then I was on my own. Far out. Aunty Flo, you better be good at providing. For all you business boss ladies out there, you will know that December and January are known to be the quietest months of the year. Our business had slowed to a snail's pace and stress levels were through the roof. Now what? This is where my messaging comes in. Faith, trust, and courage. Now, if you've made a decision that you know is in true alignment to your soul, you will be supported. Although wonky for a bit there, I think Aunty Flo forgot to bring her walker. We did make it. There were many tears, countless sleepless nights, and bad parenting moments. When you are under the pump, GSD kicks in, and as per club rules, your health suffers, you put yourself last, and all downtime goes out the window. As per rule 4, the poor kids got the bad side of me, and my sister got the other bad side. Thankfully, I've only got 2 sides. Being single, I didn't have a partner to help me let off steam. Let's just say Di and I had our fair share of sisterly, snappy business meetings over the past 2 years. It's lucky we are both self-aware and prepared to do the work. The pressure was unbearable at times, but I just knew I had made the right decision. It was in alignment, and when you make decisions that align with your soul, you will be supported. It may not look like what you ordered, but you will survive. My parents have been my biggest supporters, and although I would like to tell you it was all the universe, Mum and Dad have stepped in and helped out when things got tough. As I said, it doesn't always look like what you ordered, but you will be supported. My rash also miraculously disappeared, but I noticed it would flare up periodically when stressed. Things had to change. The old way of doing business needed a shake-up. That was clear. So how do you run a business from the Aunty Flow way of life? Over time, the new club rules were revealed to me. Calendar must have rest time scheduled in. Alarms if you need to. Lunch must be taken. Your soul is first priority. Family and friends are always welcome in the club. Balance all areas of your life. Break the rules when needed. Structure is used to contain, not suffocate. Tantrums and overwhelm, welcome. Emotions must be displayed when felt. Fluffy and woo-woo to be regularly inserted into the business. Flexibility shall be the leader, and excel at what you are good at and delegate the rest. This club is a whole lot more fun than the old one. Inserting the Aunty Flow values and your intuition into your business is not as crazy as it seems. Your accounting firm or real estate brokerage or coaching business does not need to have sage burning, oracle cards at the ready, or staff singing Kumbaya. However, what it does need is a feminine flow that allows flexibility, a strong connection to yourself and your why. It needs trust when the days get tough and a belief in something bigger. It needs feeling, healthy relationships, and a strong gut instinct. I'm going to turn to my intuition right now to drive this message home to you. A few days ago, whilst coaching a client who was running a very GSD sort of business, I was drawn to pull a card. Yes, I may have lied earlier. You can use cards in coaching. The card was called Two Worlds. Here is an excerpt from this card. There is a conflict in your life between what the outer world requires of you and how your own spirit directs you. You are now experiencing a polarity between a fully self-realized spiritual experience and personal success in your day-to-day life. It often feels as if you have to let one go in order to embrace the other. This push-pull will continue until you learn to bring your spiritual self to every situation in your personal life. It's time to replace worry with trust and integrate your eternal truth with your temporal reality. If you have a job or in a relationship that actively pulls you from your spirit, you must deal with it or possibly leave it. Who you are forever is who you are now. Let nothing impede that power. When you own it, absolute self-realization in both worlds will elude you no longer. And that's from the Akashic Tarot Guidebook by Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. I also lied about not using quotations or references in this chapter. Lucky my new Aunty Flow Club lets me break my own rules. So that card was powerful, and the timing of pulling it is not lost on me. You see, the more you give up control and go with the flow, thanks Aunty, the more things will fall in your lap and the more you will see them. As you step into alignment, each piece of the puzzle will appear and fit perfectly in place. If you're too busy running around getting shit done, you won't get the messages. Not only will you not get the messages, but they will also be lost forever. The more you bring your two clubs or worlds together, the greater the power you have in yourself and the greater your impact. But guess what, friends? It takes absolute courage to bring these worlds together. It's scary to do things out of your comfort zone. It takes guts to move from spreadsheets to meditation, safety to freedom, and from doing to being. It takes even more courage to step up and do things a different way. Take it from me. I was sacked from my mainstream job because I chose to do things a different way. Business does not have to be what the mainstream textbooks tell us. Following textbooks is boring and produces a bunch of robots that get shit done at the expense of their health, their relationships, and sometimes at the expense of their financial gain. Why would we do this to our soul? It's time to get scared, step outside the box, find a way to introduce Aunty Flow into the GSD club and share that with the world. So here is a chance to practice. You've set time aside for yourself to read this book, so why not? I have a challenge for you. Stop and put the book down or turn off the audio. 2, set your timer on your phone for 3 minutes. Number 3, ask yourself the question, how can I bring my intuition into my business? Number 4, sit in silence for 3 minutes, just thinking about this question. That's a long time to sit in silence, so a pat on the back if you make it through the full 3 minutes. Journal on your ponderings. If you want a challenge, use your non-dominant hand to write your answers. Number 6, make the change. Choose one thing that you're going to do to bring Aunty Flow into your business. Number 7, get uncomfortable. Share your answer with your staff or your business partner or your clients. If this exercise was uncomfortable for you, you're not alone. So many of my current clients come from male-dominated industries and are keen on the business coaching, but not so keen on that other stuff you do. Every time, without fail, they see the light. It's not from me forcing them to meditate or twisting their arm to journal. It just happens naturally. It's what their soul is craving. They feel it. It's like a remembering. I'm here to be the Aunty Flow in their life, to be the light, put myself out there and show people there is another way. Looking back, getting sacked from the police was a blessing in disguise. It allowed me to use my courage and intuition to inspire others. Do I agree with the decision and how it was done? No way. Do I believe I should be compensated for the stress and loss of wage? Hell yes. Kelly Clarkson got it right with what doesn't kill you make you stronger. I am strong and you can be too. I am grateful for my journey and the ability to share it with you. I sometimes fall back into my GSD days, but that is becoming less and less common. You do not need to be perfect. Unicorns are a myth. I trust that this message has landed for you. May you go forward with courage, trust your intuition, and blend your two worlds together. A woman aligned is a woman on purpose. Love and light, Michelle Ann.